Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to the Dice Tower as we take a look at the best of 2021. And I want to talk about theming this time. Now, these games are not necessarily my favorite games of the year. In fact, some of them are and some of them aren't. But I'm just talking about the unique, interesting, or good ways that they use their theme in the game. And I'm always looking for games that do different things with theme. And theme can mean anything, and you'll see that as we go through these different kinds of themes on this list. So again, I'm just kind of ranking this list by how well I thought the theme was brought into the game. Number 10 is That Time You Killed Me. That's an evocative title right off the bat. And frankly, this is the most abstract game on this list because that's what it is. It's a game in which I am moving a couple pieces around that look kind of like chess pieces, trying to take yours out. And it's very thinky, it's very abstract. But the game is about you being a time traveler. And it is, because you have the past, present, and future, and you're jumping your pieces around that follow some time travel rules. And also, when you have these modules where you can plant a plant in the past that grows into a shrub and then a tree in the future. Again, this all comes down to an abstract chess-like, very deep thinky game. But the theme works. It doesn't hurt that the rule book is written with a rollicking, jovial tone that just brings this laughter into the whole thing. But that theme, I think, just fits, and it's so much fun. Just read the back of the box, and I think you'll be in based on theme alone. That Time You Killed Me. Number 9 is Cellulose. Cellulose is from Genius Games, who makes games that are science themed. And I feel like I should put one of their games on the list every year. Actually, I think they had 2 games come out this year, but I could only pick one for this list. And I'm a big fan of putting these science themes here. Here are plant cells and just the DNA and everything that's involved with this game. It's a good worker placement game that I think works really well, but it also comes with a whole extra book that explains the science and everything behind it. They do this with all their games, and I love how they have a really solid game with really good science mechanisms. If you're a science teacher and you're going, there's no good board games for me, oh my word, there is, and this is one of them. It's a lot of fun too. That's Cellulose. Number 8 is Imperium Classics, or Imperium Legends, are 2 games that work together. This one is a Civilization-style game that's a deck builder, but kind of. Or a deck manipulator. I don't really know how to describe this game, but it works really well. Now, you're going to need people. This is one of the heavier games on this list. It doesn't look like it's that heavy, but you have your own civilization, whether it be the Romans or the Greeks, or if you're playing with the Legends box, the Atlanteans. You have these cards. Each one has a few different rules, and you're kind of like cycling cards and building cards and just trying to score points in various ways. But I think it brings this theme to life. It does a pretty good job considering everything is in these cards. The artwork doesn't hurt. It's a good production. Like I said, there's a lot going on in this game, but definitely worth checking out. Imperium Classics or Legends. Number 7 is Moonshine Empire. Now, this game is probably one of the simplest games on the list, and I have a few problems with the gameplay, but the theming of it works really well. You're just delivering moonshine, and everything about this brings it to life, from the little airboats and jeeps and things you're driving around on a board, and you jump out of an airboat and steal someone else's jeep and go in, and you're cranking out moonshine and you're delivering it to Granny over here in a little shack in the swamp. It is just chock full of this silly theme. And while the game itself I thought was okay, the theme was so much over the top that if you like it, I think it's worth checking out, and I wanted to give it points for having such a fun theme. Number 6 is Dominant Species Marine. Now, this is the follow-up to the very well-received and very popular Dominant Species. This is, I think, possibly better than the first game. There's going to be some back and forth, but I just love how this game works. You are a species, an aquatic species, and you're one of 4 different species in the ocean, and crustaceans or whatever you are, and you are trying to propagate and beat everybody else out through the manipulating of cards. It almost feels like a civilization building game, but all the cards make thematic sense. You're also trying to evolve a little bit so that you can beat everybody else out. It doesn't look like a very thematic game when you look at it. It definitely needs some upgrades of pieces and stuff, but the cards and everything else help bring this to life, and I think the theme is really strong. Dominant Species Marine. Number 5 is The Specialists. Now, this is not the only game that came out with this theme, but I'm a big fan of the whole Ocean's 11 style thing. And in this game, you are grabbing a gang of characters together and then sending them out on heists all over the world, trying to figure out, are we going to rob the jewelry stores or the big casinos at different places? That's a kind of a fun theme. The artwork here brings it to life. It's a really cool looking box. And I'm not condoning robbing casinos, but I think we all imagine it a little bit when we're watching Ocean's 11 and things like that. And so this takes those heist movies, which are a lot of fun, and brings it into a card collecting and playing out of a game called The Specialists. Number 4 is possibly my least favorite game mechanisms on this list, but the theme is so fantastic that it made the list because we just enjoyed it. Danger Park. So in Danger Park, which definitely takes some inspiration from the real world, you are working together as a group of people building different rides in this park. You're not really working together, but you're all building in the same park, and you are building deliberately bad rides that are about to fall apart, and in this game fall apart all the time. It's tremendous artwork. You got a tilt-a-whirl where the people might fly off, a bug-infested fun house. It's silly artwork. It is hilarious as you're playing these cards, and then the machines break down and sometimes spread it to other people. People get sick in your park and move into crowds of other people, and they get sick. It's a really funny theme. We laugh the whole time we're playing it, and that is Danger Park. Number 3 is Vagrant Song. Now, part of the theming of Vagrant Song that I like so much is the 1920, 30 art style, Betty Boop, Cuphead style. But I also like the theme itself. You wake up, you're vagrants, maybe a guy with a banjo, maybe a girl with a dog, and you wake up on this train, and you're like, where are we? Wait, is that guy missing his head? And it's spooky, but Mickey Mouse-ish spooky, but spooky anyway. But it's also a really strong game about you have these haints, they're called, and you're trying to restore their humanity without losing your own in the process. Great storylines, a lot of fun. Vagrant Song. Number 2 is Lawyer Up. Lawyer Up is a 2-player game about a trial. One person is the prosecution, the other person is the defense. You're going back and forth, fighting over different trials, and a few come in the base game, and you can buy more in expansions. There is no set verdict. It's not like, well, this person's guilty, we have to figure it out. No, that's kind of ambiguous. You're just trying to prove it by playing cards and then swaying the jurors on your side. Doesn't matter if they're actually guilty or innocent. What matters is, can you persuade them? I love lawyer shows. I like all the different cards in this game. At its core, it's definitely moving cards and cubes around. But the theme, I think, comes out, and I like it a lot. So that's Lawyer Up. And then number 1 on my list of best themes from 2021 is Night Cage. Night Cage is horror in a box. And but it's not like bloody or scary or anything. Well, I mean, it's scary, but it's not bloody or gross. You are someone trapped in a black cage in the middle of nowhere. It's a cooperative game. You're all working together, trying to crawl out. But you only have one candle, so you can only see tiles that are right next to you. You got to go find keys. Everyone needs to find a key, and then all get to the same door and unlock it. And wow, does this game bring that theme to life. I feel like you should play it with the lights down and some just very eerie water driplets in the background, maybe some quiet music. There's monsters in this thing. It is scary as all get out, I feel. Just an interesting cooperative game that's really unlike anything else that you've ever played. So those are my 10 favorite themes that I found in games, and there's so many. Games are so thematic, and like you can see, they're from lawyers to being trapped in a cage to going on a train to the afterlife to back in time to moonshining. There's so many cool themes. These are my favorites. I'm Tom Vasel. You're watching The Dice Tower.